All right, streaming. Interesting times, everybody. Interesting times. Yes, we're back from vacation. We have a new DreamBot to go over. I'm calling it Prepping for the Grand Air Trines. Yeah, there is an eclipse coming up, but the collective, I think, is seeing. You can prove me wrong. I'm okay with that. In the DreamBot, it looks like the collective is ready to learn or expecting to learn. And that really does go well with the last DreamBot, which, as you remember, 2 weeks ago was our last one. It was all about information, like a information fire hose coming at us. And it's similar to that this time, but it's all about learning and seeking, assessing, and whatnot. So while we wait for folks to come in, let's see. So the overview today is we're going to do, talk a little bit about the live astrology, what you can expect here in the next couple of days. Yeah, I know I cover in the CIRF Reports, cover every single day of the year, not just the significant ones. But it's fun to look at the live chart, in my opinion. And we'll look at the DreamBot, which is different, and we'll do a reading for y'all. In this case, since we're waiting for some folks to come in, hopefully, I am going to, in honor of the DreamBot and the Grand Air Trines coming, and the current Grand Trine that we'll talk about with Mercury, this is a time of great learning. And I find the Rubik's Cube a good correlation, a good metaphor, because I didn't know how to do this my entire life. And so just this year, I was gifted this and figured out how to do it. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, I've got it down to about a minute is my fastest, like 59 seconds. No, I don't even know if it's even possible for me to do this in less than like 30 seconds, 20 seconds ever, just because I started so late in my life. But I'm going to do this and hopefully talk a little bit. Whoops, that was the wrong one. And just to show you that you can keep learning. You can learn your entire life. And you should learn your entire life. Because if you don't, your brain disintegrates. Okay, so what I'm doing is the white star at the bottom. Then I'm going to do and I know this isn't astrology and this is not DreamBot, but the point is, if you really want to learn something, you can, no matter how old you are. I'm in my 50s now, learning how to do the Rubik's Cube. And yeah, I'm not nearly as fast as some of those people that start at age 2 or 5. When I was younger, I'd just pull these pieces off and pluck them back in the right place and call it, yeah, I did it. But now I'm actually doing it the right way. Well, if there is a right way per se. Some of you aren't interested in this, but I'm making a point here. So it won't take too long. It does take a little bit longer when I am kind of on the spot, which I did this to myself, so I own it. And I'm recommending that you figure out something that you would like to learn, and it doesn't have to be useful. I don't find the Rubik's Cube doesn't save the world or anything. And so is it useless? No, I think it's a great value. It challenges the mind. And even when I can do this accurately and in a fairly efficiently, I'd say maybe intermediate type, there's always faster you can go. There's always new algorithms you can learn. So there it is. Just did it. I don't know how long that was. Who do we have here? Check in. We have Mary. Mary says, brightest blessings. Blessings to you, Mary. Looking at the September 23rd, let's look at that. I have our latest CIRF report, 23rd, 24th, Mars in Scorpio. There he is. Tuesday the 23rd, Wednesday the 24th. Square Pluto and Aquarius. Big truths arriving. Yeah. This is probably the biggest week, in my opinion, probably the biggest week in the entire year. We have an eclipse. We have the grand trines. And I say double because it's Mercury and Sun as the head of the trine. And, it starts, as we talked about, as a grand trine. This is the paying attention sign, Virgo, and Sun. Sun and Virgo at the point of the kite. Well, anyway, I don't want to redo the CIRF report, but yeah, great truths are coming out. I guess that's a good segue. You want to just go ahead and do the DreamBot now? I kind of do, because it flows in with what Mary just said. Revelations, big truths arriving. So remember, the last DreamBot we did was all about information and a fire hose of information. This time it's pretty eye-watering. All these yellow arrows, it points to, there's 16 of these in this meme. Seek, find, study, learn, hypothecate, assimilate, take in, and then a small amount of community. Community's really been a consistent theme, not a big one ever, I don't think, in our recent DreamBot runs, but it's there a lot, all the time. Community. So I know that's a big thing with the collective right now as they try to continue to divide us. Okay, so the seeking, finding. So dreamer, browser, hidden, count, learn, information, read or read, try, navigation, expand, expanding knowledge, expanding what you think you know, expanding your belief system, course, learning, search, interpretation. It's one thing to find the information. It's a whole nother thing to interpret it, right? Welcome, you're welcoming information, and that goes with open. So you need to have a psychologically flexible cognition in order to even learn. And when that stops being psychologically flexible, or when the brain stops being having plasticity, there really is no physical way of learning. And that's why it's important to continue to learn. So pick something. Oh, let me finish. Spirituality. I think, in my opinion, you can have a whole spirituality of learning and seeking and finding. Free links, need. There tends to be a need. That's where, in the world of learning, in the world of research, there seems to be a burning question, a passion, and that would be called like a need. All right, so pretty basic. What do you guys think? September still number one. The word weird is up there. I almost put that in the community because, like, almost an antithesis of community. Whenever you have a community, you have the kind of the outliers. And this is important because this word weird is near the top, meaning that there's a lot of instances in the recent dreams that use the word weird. An unusually high number. So weird in form of, well, we could look at the information as weird. Yeah, sure, because if we've been propagandized pretty much all of our entire lives, any truth is going to look weird. It's also probably the hardest time in history in order to discern what is true, what is false, what is fake. There's so many different fake. Even just the evidence is fake. And so that's where you have to start. You have to start with assessing whether or not the evidence you see or the post that you see or the video that was made and posted hasn't been altered or completely just fake. How do you know anymore? AI is getting really good, don't you think? So anyway, what are your thoughts there? Doop, doop, doop. All right. Now let's go into the live show, the live chart. And as we talk, you'll be able to see some of these numbers changing. That's because it's a live chart. And as you can see, big, bold, green trines. And then red indicates pressure. There's a pressure on the financial system. Jerome Powell's going to be speaking today. Everyone's, I don't know, there's like this whole political thing. They're kind of catch-22, in my opinion, in these interest rate things. So there's changes because it can't sustain this. They're being cornered. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And so that's kind of this square. It's a financial pressure into big change and transformation. Now, eventually Sun and Mercury will go into Libra and make this grand air trine. Mercury's already air. Mercury's in home in Virgo, but Mercury's also ruler of Gemini. So in a way is a very mental, communicative, and learning, even though currently in an earth sign. So in a way, it's sort of a grand air trine already. So learn and ride this wave. Hi, Miss Honeybee. Namaste to you. All right. Okay, next, let's do a reading. How about that? And this reading is for all of you. Not for me, but for you. Oracle cards are more astrological in nature, but they're still archetypes. They're still oracles. They're not denoting that we should look at the charts themselves. These are just archetypes. Okay, we start with planets and we set the intention. The intention is to get you all, whoever is watching, either right now or on a replay of this video on YouTube or Rumble, the best kind of suggestions other than what we've talked about already. And so, best suggestions for our National Dream Center surfers and viewers in our community, and what would be of benefit for the majority of us. And I'm waiting for a single card to sort of pop out. And I'm not looking, not cherry picking. And then we'll have a planet. We'll have, this one is a zodiac sign. Well, we already have South Node. I think we had South Node last time. These are pretty cards, in my opinion. So that's the quote-unquote planet. It's the placement. And now we need a sign. So the now South Node, where? And same intention. There it is. In Taurus this time. Taurus the bull. But a lot of values in Taurus. Maybe some bullheaded, grounded, earthy, and now we need a house to finish our archetype using the same intention. And there it is. Oh, nope. Disregard. There's 2 cards there, so the polling continues. Boy, they're really stuck together. And I'm not really forcing anything. I'm waiting for the 1 card. There it is. Second house. Well, this reading is all about values and money. But South Node, remember, what is South Node doing? It's where you're coming from. So it appears the suggestion here is thinking about what used to be your values. So that's second house, but it's also Taurus. Taurus and the second house really go well together. It's all about worth, what is of value to you, money, finances even. But I think the biggest watchword for this archetype is going to be values. What did you used to value? And South Node asks you to let it go. This is, at this current time, the last of the eclipse cycle from the Aries cycle. We're going into a Virgo cycle. So we've got the solar eclipse coming in. This is the last few days beforehand. And amidst a grand air trine and learning, so we're learning new things. Everything's new. We might have a new financial system is only guaranteed. This one is deteriorating. It's not my prediction. These are like lots of different podcasts that I'm watching and paying attention to. I know you guys are too, paying attention. So it asks you not to hang on too much from the past. Figure out from the old system, from the old way of life, from the old value set that you had, what do you want to get rid of? What do you want to let go? And so that you can be better prepared, better adapting, better assimilating the information, the maybe financial system, the new way of life, and bring the best to that new world. For us, for our community, for our human community. Anyway, what do you guys think? I think it's a pretty profound and timely reading, and it has to do with the eclipse, for sure. So, Mem Jax, welcome. Good to see all of you here. I appreciate you being here. Start to think about some questions before I go. We are like 18 minutes into this. Okay, a little bit, pretty much right on time. Are you guys questioning the things that are happening? So my big question is, the assassination happens apparently. Now this might not be true, so don't shoot the messenger, but might be on the same exact day as the vote to release more of the materials from the Epstein case. Is that true? Don't know. Boy, a lot of coincidences though, huh? And by the way, the more I talk to people, the more I don't feel so strange of just saying what I think and just being me. I realize that my ideas, my thoughts and beliefs, and what I'm noticing in the world ain't so strange anymore. It's almost like I'm more mainstream than anything, where I used to be kind of a really weird thinker. But my thinking hasn't changed a whole lot. But my point is, a lot more people are thinking this way. That's my point. Hi, Milos. Good to see you, sir. All right, I put the cards up. We have, remember, the reading for today is the second, let's see, South Node, Taurus in the second house. So be on at this time, at the end state of a solar, or an eclipse cycle. It's time to release and let go the old values, maybe limited beliefs, limited worth, self-worth, maybe something along value and worth, and in making sure that the old limitations are released. Okay. And get ready for the new system or new whatever, the new eclipse cycle, the grand air trine. The DreamBot screams to figure out something that you can learn and make it make it a passion of yours, not necessarily that it's useful or anything else. Make it a passion. That is the use. I'm finding this Rubik's thing kind of life-changing in my own kind of experience. Is I never thought I could ever do it. So I just learned it this year. So it's important as we age to take care of your brain. And one of the ways to do that is to learn. It's also the other part of the DreamBot is community. Those who have the most and deepest amounts of friends and connections live longer and live higher quality lives. So, and that's also for brain health. Brain health, not just nutrition, nutrients, reducing deficiencies in some cases, like cholesterol. You get a cholesterol deficiency, you get dementia. So pay attention to all that. But a lot of people, as we age, we want to get less social because, well, there's a lot of different reasons. And not everybody's like this, but most of us get a little more introverted as we age. And that correlates with the loss of plasticity in the brain. The plasticity allows us to learn. It's the malleable. It's physically malleable. It's soft. The brain is soft. When it's physically soft, it brings in information, assimilates, and learns much easier. Well, you can maintain that plasticity through things like learning, good nutrition, exercise, getting blood flow through the brain, social interaction, regular social interaction. Doesn't have to be a lot. It just, man, why is that so important for the brain and plasticity? Because you can't really predict what the other person's going to say. So there's like this little angst. We don't even know it's there. And even our extroverts are challenged. It's like a challenge to be able to take somebody else's information and then impart some other viewpoint projected from your own experience that matches that or that carries the conversation further. It's a challenge, and it's one of those good challenges. Like, it can be good. Hopefully, it's good, and a lot of it's a skill. So you need to learn how to do that so that your brain gets the most out of those social situations. All right. Well, let's see here. Mem Jax, I appreciate you being here. Stonewaller. I love that handle name. Yeah, a lot of us are gonna finally start to be the ones who fit in. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm getting new information from people that I never thought would be the conspiracy theorists. Back at you. Well done. Peaceful healing energy to all. You too, Miss Honeybee. All right. That's all I have, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your dialogue. And we'll just keep trying to do this, and hopefully it'll be of benefit for you. All right, go out and learn something. And also remember to find your old values that no longer work for you and start getting rid of them. All right, start letting them go. Getting ready for the new. Okay.